What's difference in between Sat Chit Anand and Asti Bhati Priya, right? Sat Chit Anand are Vidheya Lakshana, as you have already read. It is negating Asat by saying Sat. That your reality is Sat. So we are discarding the Asat by saying Chaitanya, Chit. Now Chit, Chit are two different. One Chitta is subconscious, but one Chitta is Chaitanya, short form of Chaitanya. So Chit is, by saying Chitta, we are saying negating that it's not inert. When we say Ananda, we are negating it is not dukkha, pain, misery. So, although Sat Chit Ananda word is a very vidheya, positive patterned definition, but the target is to negate asat, jad and dukkha. We could have also said Atma is not asat, not jad, not dukkha. It's a very negative statement. Hence, Rishi says Sat, Chit, Anand. One. But Veda says Asti, Bhati, and Priya. Asti, Bhati, Priya is now like confirming what it is and as it is. It's not negating anything. Like even dukkha, asti means that which exists. The word asti means existing. So when we say asat, you can say even asat exists, inertia exists, dukkha exists, sata exists, chaitanya exists, ananda exists. What is a common factor? That's why we say asti. It's like all encompassing. When we say Bhati, Chaitanya, so Chaitanya of Jada and Chaitanya of Chitta and Chaitanya of who I am, right? So the prominent part. Now there's a difference in between the word Chitta and Bhati like this. Bhati is like illuminating. In Chitta sometimes it seems it's some knowerhood of intellect is involved. Because when we say I know it, so usually the knowing is by the intellect. So when you say Chaitanya or Chitta, then it seems to be something to do with the intellect then. But like there is a bulb lit up in a room, and the light of that bulb is lighting the room. There is now no knowing over here happening. It's just the light is present. So Bhati means prakashaman, illuminating, not on what illuminating. The object is of no importance. Like when you say, I know this. Now this is also important. And I know is also important. I know this, the intellect is involved and the object is involved. But when we take the word Bhati, then Bhati, the object is not important. The knowingness of the intellect is not important. It's just mere presence. A very illuminated presence. Like sun is out, see? So sun is giving light to everything. But in dark, if you use a torch, it's a very small light. But that light is meant for finding an object. So the object is important and the light focus and the power is too small. So you can say that your intellect is like that torchlight what you have in your maybe mobile phone. If you can go more then like a jugnu, what do you say, the jugnu in English?
Firefly.
Yeah, the firefly. So the fireflies are also emitting a light, but you cannot study under that firefly's light. You cannot illuminate your room with that flyers. It's too small and it's coming and going. But when the sun is out, do you think so that sun's range is similar to the firefly? No. Is it focused on some one point? Is it focused on one space? Is it limited with the time? No. When sun is out, it's giving light to everything and for all those hours. It's just that our earth is revolving, so the earth moves, that face of the earth moves away from the sun. Hence the earth gets dark. The light of the sun has not decreased. Even when you say the light is gone, it's not gone. It's right there. It's not gone. It's right there. But you can't see. For you it is dark. Like for now, New York is dark. But India is not. It's more about which part of the surface of the earth is facing the sun. Sun is lighting. Say if somehow earth changes its position in such a way that it gets littered from below and above, meaning North Pole and the South Pole and all the directions, then there won't be any night happening on this earth. But earth is revolving on its axis, moving around the sun. Takes 365 days to complete that one cycle. So because it is moving, and sometimes the face is towards sun, sometimes it's not. Say if you move out of the earth, orbit of the earth also, and you are kind of hanging in front of the sun, all the sun is too far, just hypothetically, then would there be any night or day happening? Nope. Day and night are happening because you are on the earth. So where you are standing, we have to consider that position more. So sun is always giving the light. So I am the sun. Atma is like the sun, always bhati, giving its light to everything. I am the substratum, so giving light to everything, every time, every space. That's what you read in the Vichar Chandrodaya. That I am here and I was there. When? 10,000 years ago? 100,000 years ago? A Chaturyugi ago? A Kalpa ago? Yes. Would you be present, Bhati, say 10,000 years away in future? Yes. A Kalpa away? Yes. Billions and billions of Kalpa away, will you be present? Yes. These suns will die one day. These galaxies will die one day. But not you. Because your reality is bhati. So asti, bhati. When you say I am, when you verbalize this, it's more of the tongue speaking and the mind speaking and the ego speaking. But say if nobody stirs and nobody says anything or nobody speaks, you exist even then. That's why Bhati is more logical word than Chitta. Asti is more logical word than Sat. Priya. The Priya word has been debated by many scholars. They say no, it can't be good. Now there is a reason. There is a reason why the Priya word was chosen. Number one, when you say Priya and when you say Anand, what's the difference? When you say Anand, then Anand actually, it's the mind's definition is when everything is greatly happy. That is Anand. No, that's your definition. For example, when mind goes into total stillness, the experience is very different of Atman. So this means when mind is gone crazy, the Atma's experience changes in some way. It doesn't, but the mind will be suffering of its own miseries, self-created miseries. So Ananda too is something which is very fleeting in a way. Like deep sleep. Doesn't stays all the time. You see, when you say Ananda, somehow the human mind understands the happiness. So it just kind of magnifies that happiness and says, oh, it is huge, hence it is Ananda. So that's assumption. Like when you have a very good deep sleep, you don't wake up doing Bhangra. Do you? Because you had Ananda. No. You just lazily come out of the bed and shower and change your clothes and head for breakfast. Nobody is discussing like a triumph. I had Ananda. But in waking state, if you sit down with the eyes closed doing dharana or pranayam and something and the mind experiences that great happiness, now you are going to be boastful. Oh, I had great Ananda while doing dharana. That was a state created by some yogic practice. Deep sleep happened without your creation. But your existence is likable to you in all conditions. Isn't it so? Ananda is like a climax. It's like a huge wave in the ocean. But ocean isn't not always wavy like that. It's not tsunami like all the times. It's just gently flowing all the times. But not creating huge 1,000-meter high or 2,000-meter high waves. No. So Ananda too is like a wave which comes and which goes. But Priyata is like endearing. I am endearing to myself always. It's like waking up alive in the morning, but you still don't celebrate it. Let's order a cake. I am alive. I never died. You could have. There's a 100% chance. The figures are almost 70% people die in their sleep. Silent heart attacks. So actually every person in the morning seeing themselves alive should be throwing a party. I am still alive. Let's party. But nobody does that. So they don't like themselves being alive? No, that's not the case. So why aren't they throwing a party of deep sleep or of waking up alive? The gross body is alive. The prana is still functioning. Oh, it's a great occasion. Nobody does that. But that doesn't mean that you don't enjoy being alive. So Ananda too is like a wave which comes and goes. So a Vedanta practitioner should not be looking for jaw-dropping Ananda. But the self-endearment is always there. Hence the word Priya is chosen and not the Ananda. So Asti Bhati Priya. In Upanishad, they actually renounced the word Priya also. And they gave another word to it, and that is Satyam Gyan Anantam Brahm. Even the Priyata word has been left. Ananta, boundless, infinitum. Like even for the Priyata, the endearing thing, something might be endearing to you, something might not be endearing to other person. Like somebody's happiness can be a sore point for somebody. So they say that Priyata is also not a very decisively self-explaining word. So they chose Satyam Gyan Anantam Brahm. Ananta, endless, infinitum. That's the best word to explain the reality of self. Sat Asat, Bhati Chit still have some comparisons to it. But when we say Ananta, endless, it can be endless Sat, it can be endless Bhati. And Brahm as such means huge or big, large, or so Brahma is not, again their mind's imagination comes into play and says, Brahm, what is Brahm? Brahm. So they say, well, because you're always, body is limited, so are bodies around you, and minds are limited, so are the minds around you, but Atman is unlimited. Not bound with time, space or object. That's the reality. Say if I have to say the reality of Atman is what, then even one word is sufficient, and that is Ananta. So Satyam Gyan Anantam Brahm. See, our rishis have been playing with the content of every word also. How that word is composed, what it implies, what will be the inference of that word, what is the depth of that word in relation to other things also, in relation to itself also. And that's why the Vedant is like an ever growing. It's the same Mandukya Upanishad, but Gaudapadacharya gives his commentary so different. Shankaracharya writes commentary onto the commentary. So different. And for example, so many more Mahatmas have been doing the Mandukya Karika. Karika means a commentary, is done by like Swami Akhandanand Saraswati. So different. It's one subject, but so different commentaries. So different ways to say the same thing. Such an expensive, because anirvarchaniya, that which is not a subject of speech, is being spoken. Hence it becomes limitless. So, Asti Bhati Priya is technically more sound than Sat, Chit and Anand. Now, it doesn't mean that the Anand word doesn't have some greatness to it. It is great. But on the parameters of the Vedantic, the composition of the word becomes very important. and its relevance also becomes very, very important. Hence the asti, bhati and the priya is the word which is more appropriate. But the Upanishad says Satyam Gyan Anantam Brahma. And in later stages there are some more layers also to it. That's not the end. There's still more to that. So we have done 2 questions. Anybody else? Because you were just acknowledging to his question.
It is said that the world is of name and form only. How can I find myself separate from that name and form? Name I could understand, but form, when it is said that it is unseparate from the form, it is the feeling itself that I am has some form. I feel that. So, what does that form word mean here?
Form word obviously means like the shape, weight, dimension, depth of an object. No object in this world comes without a dimension. And limitation. And that which comes in limitation and boundary is an object. As simple as that. Now, boundary of the physical body should be evident, is evident even to a fool. Boundary of the mind won't be as physical as the body. The boundary of the mind is your thought, other person's thought. It's very subtle. So there is no physical boundary over there. Your mind, my mind, family's mind. It's not like that. More subtle. But the trouble is, the obsession of seeing body as me is so great and deep that now you want to look the Atman also with some kind of form or some kind of limitation, and your mind is unable to see that there isn't any limitation and there isn't any boundary. Hence the digestion of this fact that Atma is without name and form becomes difficult for you. So that's just a solidification of your adhyasa to the name form. So that adhyasa should be broken with knowledge.